Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic, hope you're doing well, and today I am soaking wet because I just came back from the dog park and you can see even behind me that there is a cute little doggy who is upside down and you can see her little feet in the air and it's really cute and it's very distracting. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Detective Pikachu and also John Wick 3. So for those who have been following me on Twitter, you know that I saw Detective Pikachu on Thursday for the premiere and overall I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now objectively speaking, it definitely has its flaws. The story overall isn't that compelling. It definitely borrows elements from other movies. In fact, there's one part in particular where the whole time I thought to myself, Tim Burton's Batman would probably want to have this plot point back, but even with that being the case, it overall was a very enjoyable experience. This is definitely, I think, a great example of objective versus subjective experience, where objectively I can talk about how there are definitely flaws with this film. The CGI doesn't work all the time. The CGI with Pikachu for the most part is very spot on. The voice acting is fantastic, but the live action acting isn't really that strong, especially when it comes to the main characters. They're really not that interesting. There aren't a whole lot of depths to their characters, and overall there just isn't a whole lot of life behind them. I don't really see any of the people on screen, at least the live action people who aren't big stars already, getting any other opportunities from this type of film or this type of performance, just because overall it's mediocre at best, one could say. But the voice acting from Ryan Reynolds is really what makes this film great. It's really what makes this film fantastic, and that's the reason why, subjectively speaking, I had a crap ton of fun. Now, can you have fun with this if you have no idea what Pokemon is? Sure. Great example, this is my wife. My wife has very limited experience with Pokemon. She only knows it because when we started to date, I was playing Pokemon Go. And so she decided to start playing it with me as a way for us to have something that we could do together. And she never really played it to, catch a lot of Pokemon and everything. She was mostly about, oh, these Pokemon are really cute, or, ooh, these Pokemon are really great. I'm not going to fight or battle them. I just want to be able to see them and to collect them and have fun that way. And so she had some basic understanding of Pokemon from that. But other than that, she really doesn't have any. And so she came out of this film really enjoying it. And there are moments in this film that are definitely fan service, that are definitely reaching out to people who've played the games, who've played Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, and some of the later games too, and there's definitely a lot of beats in there that reach out to them, and she was even able to enjoy it. Even though she didn't fully understand why it was being said or why it was so funny to everyone else, she was able to still enjoy it nonetheless. So I think this is a film that anyone can enjoy, whether you're a Pokemon fan or not, whether you're younger or you're older, and it's just a lot of fun. Again, subjectively speaking, it's a lot of fun, and some people are kind of worried that they think, oh, Ryan Reynolds is going to turn this into like a rated R version of Pokemon. No, not the case at all. It's a PG film, and it is a PG film. There are definitely a couple of jokes in there that I think are going to go way over the head of a lot of the kids, but those are the types of comedies that I like. I like comedies that adults are able to enjoy too. I think that those are the smartest types. If you instead have those really crappy G or PG films that just, try to go to that lowest common denominator and really aren't that funny, especially when it comes to the fact that many people are going to be bringing their kids, and so you kind of want to have something for adults too, right? And this film, I think, does that very well. Not to mention, if you go to see it early, I'm not sure exactly if they're doing this at every single theater or not, but I was very excited to find out that they were doing it at mine. They give you basically the equivalent of a booster pack. Now, it's not going to have a crazy number of cards in there. It comes with just 2 cards, but the fact that you're getting a booster pack of Pokemon cards, it brought me back. I'm 30 years old, and I remember being like 10, being younger than 10, and having Pokemon cards be the big thing. My first Pokemon card ever was a Machop, and I didn't have any, and so a friend of mine who had a deck said, oh, I've got an extra card, let me go ahead and give this one to you. So my first card was a Machop, and so I was able to collect those cards. Never really played the game as much as far as the trading card game, but I like to collect. I had the book, and it was really great to see that in the movie too. There was a point where they have the Pokemon card book, and the guy has this collection of cards, and I just remembered I have one of those too somewhere over at my parents' house. I have my own my own collection, with my my rarest card being a holographic first edition Jolteon. I know it's still just something that to me was a very big part of my childhood, and so to get a booster pack and to be able to get a couple of holographic cards, nothing, crazy or spectacular, but still, the fact that I was able to get holographic cards, it really just brought me back, because the design has changed a little bit over the years, but the fact that I was able to see it and be like, oh my gosh, like seriously, it's got the same Pokemon back like it did when I was younger, but you were able to get I was able to get a Detective Pikachu and also a Bulbasaur, and I mean, again, it's silly. It might be childish to some people, but overall, I thoroughly enjoy it. I think that it's a lot of fun, and I think that kids are going to be able to enjoy it too. I think that adults are going to be able to enjoy it as well. And as you can see, I'm over on my website right now. Right now, the objective score is around a 61.5, and the subjective is around an 80. And I think this is totally fair, because I think objectively speaking, this film has a lot of flaws to it. If you're going in there and you're going to want to pick apart the film, you're going to find a lot of things to pick apart. And I think that that's not what they're trying to do here. They're not trying to make a tight light film. They're not trying to make one that doesn't have plot holes in it. They're just trying to make a fun movie, and I think they do that very well, which is why most people, again, we have about 6 or 7 scores that have come in so far. Most people are having a subjectively good time with this film, giving it around an 80 or so, which means the total score right now over on OMB reviews.com, or rather .home.blog. I know it's a mouthful and I'm working on it, but I don't really have a lot of time or cash to be able to put into it. To over the summer, my plan is to try and make this more of what I want it to be in the future. But again, I do like the fact that they're able to do breakdown of a subjective score and an objective score, and then we get a total, again 70.8, which I think is a totally fair score for this film. Just in some comparison to other films, you have this with a 61.5, 80, 70.8. Missing Link, again, not a lot of people saw this film, but even that one, a lot of people had some issues with it. Avengers Endgame, you see the objective and subjective are actually very close here. This is obviously something that I disagree with, but most people don't have the objective problems that I do with it. Shazam did very well. Hellboy, somehow, some way, must have been able to, with people with low expectations, went in and were able to enjoy the film somehow. But again, it always comes down to how many people actually see the film and leave a review. The more people that see it and leave an honest review, the more honest the scores are actually going to be. That's why Alita Battle Angel, again, a very, very high score. Pet Sematary, not a very high score. Dumbo, decent score. Unicorn Store, which I have yet to put my review in for, that is about where it needs to be, if not even just a little bit lower. Infinity War, which I honestly think is the best of the movies so far as the overall Avengers film. Us, kind of a mixed score there. Again, objectively people enjoy it, but subjectively people have some issues with it. Captain Marvel, about where it needs to be. Aquaman, I think that's fair, but some people disagree with me on their own thoughts when it comes to that movie. But it's just a really cool thing, I think. It's really cool to be able to have a place where you can go, you can leave an honest score, you can change your scores after the fact. Unfortunately, there is not a way for me to be able to establish accounts so that way you can actually have a list of all your scores. But the fact that you're never going to have your scores deleted, you're never going to have your reviews deleted either, because every single one of these pages has a place where you can, in the comics, leave your own reviews, and I'm not going to delete them. Unless you are like spamming with nonsense with your own sites or anything like that, you're not going to have any comment that's deleted. If you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. I let discussions happen, and the only time I ever delete anything is when people cross the line. When is it crossing the line? Basically, if you don't think that your comment is appropriate anywhere else, then it's probably going to be deleted. Again, if your comment would not be accepted even in like the most open-minded of places, then it probably will be deleted. But even then, I have not really gone into the comments and deleted anything probably in months at this point, because most people don't do that, and the only comments that I've really had to delete are not those types, but instead spam comments. But I do want to talk about a little bit about John Wick Chapter 3, because I'm going to see this film this coming Thursday, and I'm so freaking hyped for it. And again, people would like to say, oh, why are you so negative all the time? Are there any things that you're like, yeah, Detective Pikachu, freaking great film, so much fun, highly recommend that you go see it. John Wick Chapter 3, I'm so excited for it. I got my tickets for this like 3 weeks ago when they finally went on sale. Got it in Dolby, going to see it opening night, the first showing in Dolby, and I'm so excited. And right now, the early reviews for this are doing pretty well. People are coming away from it saying it's got some great practical effects, set pieces, stunt work, and that is all that I want. John Wick Chapter 3 does not have to do much. It only has to be able to continue the story at a most basic level and just have John Wick just wreck town. Just go to town on this film. And this is exactly what it seems like it's going to do. No one who has been making a review of it has said anything about it being politically motivated, which I think is perfect, because the last thing that John Wick needs is to go woke. Doesn't sound like it's going to, which I'm very excited for, but also it looks like the box office is going to be pretty good too. So Bounding in the Comics says that they finally have got the box office expectations for it. The third film is expected to bring in around $40 million on opening weekend and rake in $105 million during its run domestically. And of course, that is the domestic numbers. We're not going to get those foreign totals quite yet because it's a lot harder to do so. I hope this film makes even more. I hope this film becomes just a massive success, because the more that John Wick Chapter 3 can do well at the box office, I personally think the better that it's going to be for films overall, because these are the type of films that we want. We want original concept films. Yes, this is the third film. Yes, it's a trilogy, but guess what? It's an original trilogy. It's based off of a character that they created from the first film. It's based off of a world that's been built. They're going to make a TV show based on the Continental, based on the hotel chain that exists in this world, and they're probably going to continue to make these films. John Wick, and rather Keanu Reeves himself, John Wick himself, has said that he will continue to make these films as long as fans want it, and fans continue to want it, because as long as they keep doing this high quality, as long as they keep producing this type of content, we're going to want it. And this is, I think, something that any studio should probably look at and say, you can indeed create an original concept. Disney, hey, looking at you. You can create an original concept, and if you do it well, people will go to see it. You'll make money. You may not make the crap ton of money that you do for Endgame or for Avengers, Star Wars, etc. But remember, those cost way more to make. John Wick does not cost nearly as much to make as those movies, and yet it's still going to be financially successful. Not just in theaters, but also in the long run on Blu-ray and DVD. I own the first 2 on Blu-ray. I got 1 on Steelbook, and it really is one of the best movies and one of the best franchises that I currently have right now. I cannot wait to own John Wick 3, even though I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to own it, because this is a trilogy that a lot of us really want. It's one that we really want to see. One last thing about Detective Pikachu is that the audience score had been revealed, and of course I'm not going to go to Rotten Tomatoes itself. I'm going to go right here, and you see 64% from critics, 86% from audiences. Remember that audience scores usually on Rotten Tomatoes are more of that subjective view, saying I thoroughly enjoyed the film. So you see that popcorn, you see the 86%, know that it's a good time. It's a very fun time. And going back just to my site for a second, you see that same type of split. That's why I like to have this type of split, because you see that objectively speaking, when people are asked to really break things down by category, they say, oh no, there's flaws to it, but overall I thoroughly enjoy it. And I think that's totally fair for this film. 8 out of 10 for me totally is fair. And that's why I give this film a solid B myself. So again, I gave a solid B to Detective Pikachu, and I cannot wait for this week because John Wick 3 is going to be so damn good, even though Halle Berry is in it. Maybe Halle Berry will finally be in a film where she doesn't end up ruining it. Guys, what are y'all thoughts? Have you seen Detective Pikachu? Do you like it? Did you get your own cards? Do you have different cards? Do you want to trade? Let me know in the comments below. Also, guys, if you like this video, smash the thumbs up. Give me a subscribe as well. Seriously, it helps me out a lot. And as you all know, because I've been saying it every video so far, YouTube's algorithm has just been total crap lately. So if you really can, make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure the bell is still hit if you want to. And please join us for the live streams, join us for those discussions, and check out my links below to see if you can help out the channel in any way or if you want more content. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.